What's up? The Donna's back. I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Jenny Q wins a man's singles. And another thing I need to specify on. If the tournament's an open tournament, anybody can play. Women can play. Kids can play. If a little kid decides who can't play handball for nothing, went to an open tournament, he should be allowed to play. Because it's an open, which means anybody. You understand? That's how it was back in the old days. It just said tournament, which meant anybody could play. Whether you sucked, whether you couldn't play with crap, whether you were a woman, it didn't matter. Anybody was allowed to play. We didn't specify who had the right to play because everything was an open tournament in the Spalding game in one wall. You know, way back in the days, they did have divisions, but they didn't have divisions in paintball, one wall, back in the days. Either you played or you didn't. That's it. You just went there, signed your name, got your butt kicked, but you know what? You were happy about it. So my point here is that if the tournament is an open tournament, anybody can play. Understand? Anybody. If it's a B tournament, and it just says B tournament, anybody can play. If she's a B player, or he's a B player. But you see, anybody below that level can play also, by the way. You understand? If you're in a B tournament, anybody below that level is allowed to play. You don't have to be a B damn tournament player. Right? You don't have to be a B player. You could be a C player or even a novice. And you should be allowed to play. And you should be allowed to play. You're allowed to play. If you're a C player, anybody below that is allowed to play. If you're an A player, anybody below that is allowed to play. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But when it comes to the open, which means anybody, because you're up to the top, you could be a B player, a C player, a D player, you could be a woman, you could be a little kid, doesn't freaking matter. You can't tell people they can't play. They're allowed to play. So understand that. Open tournament, anybody. B tournament, anybody below. C tournament, anybody below can play. Doesn't matter the gender either. It could be man, woman, kid. If you suck, you ain't got no skills, you're allowed to play. You don't have to be a freaking C player to be in a C tournament. You don't have to be a B player to play in a B tournament. And you don't have to be an A player to play in an A tournament. See, that's what kills the sport a lot of times. You know what kills the sport? Is that people think because they're a B player, they're only going to play in B tournaments. People think that they're C players and they're only going to play in C tournaments. You understand? They're not going to, because understand that, like the Don says, you're not a B player, you're below them, so get your ass in there anyway. You're not an A player, you're below them, maybe 2 levels below them, get your ass in there anyway. You understand? You're not a C player, you're below them, get your ass in there anyway. That's how you get better. You see, she just played. It was an open, whatever the hell, I don't understand what it was, but she played, she won. There it is. She wasn't looking at anything specific. But that's what kills handball today. Because how are you guys ever going to improve if you don't take a chance? That's how the Don got great. Because the Don didn't give a rat's behind who the hell was in front of me. Because in my sick mind, I was always the front runner. You understand? I was always the front runner. Even when I may have been here, but in my mind, I was here. And remember, this is the open level. I probably was here when I started, but I would go up here with these guys because in my mind, I wasn't behind them. The Don was the front runner. So don't be afraid to take chances, bro. Otherwise, you're going to be left with a bunch of freaking guys that never want to move up, that put a tag on them that says C player or B player. And you know what it says here? It says, I'm a C player. I'm always going to play in a C tournament. I'm never going to take a chance to move up to the Bs. You know what I mean? Same thing with the Bs. Oh, it's okay. I'm a B player. Oh, are you playing in the Open today? No. I'm a B player. Right? They're never going to take a chance and move up the ladder or take a chance and play anyway. That gives you 2 chances or even 3 chances to play. Check it out. You're a C player, right? You can play in the Bs and the Open. You're a novice. You're just starting. They actually have novice tournaments, by the way. But you're a C player. But you can play in the C tournament, B tournament, A tournament. Imagine how much experience you'll get in a short time if you continue to have that mentality that I'm a C player. Next week there's a B tournament. Yeah, I'm showing up. You know what? 2 weeks from now there's also an Open tournament. Yeah, I'm showing up. You see my point? Right. Because in your mind, you are the front runner, regardless. You're not behind anybody. That's why you keep jumping and jumping. You know, I do the same shit in boxing, right? Guys go up different divisions. You know, there's a boxer named Henry Armstrong, Hammering Hank. He held titles in 3 different divisions at the same time. 3. How did he do that? Because he took a chance. You know? There were boxers back in the day, I think it's Mickey Walker, I think that's his name, I'm not sure. This guy was fighting, he was a middleweight, he was fighting heavyweights, he was fighting this weight. Sugar Ray Robinson, who was a welterweight to begin with, and then a middleweight, he fought for the light heavyweight championship as a middleweight. They didn't go up to meet them in weight. They fought them at their weight. Remember that. How did they do that? They took a chance. So what the Don is saying, take a freaking chance. All right? Stop tagging yourselves. And by the way, that A card is the worst freaking tag anybody can have. Because they tag themselves. I'm an A player. I've done everything. How many tournaments you won? I ain't won shit. But that's the tag. That's what they live and die by, this card. So there's a little bit of that. But anyway, back to the subject. Congratulations, Johnny Q. All right? You showed those guys and you gave those guys an offer they couldn't refuse. Right? All right. The Don is talking about Johnny Q winning that and other things.